What is going on, guys? My name is Chosen, and today I'm going to be helping you get the best possible capture settings with your HD recording device, and also the best possible render settings with your Sony Vegas Pro. So, quick background on me. Some of you guys might know me as Chosen GFX. As the name suggests, I used to do graphics. Unfortunately, nowadays I don't have the patience, so I kind of use that channel more for tutorials. My tutorials were actually fairly successful. I had about 20, 30, 40 plus thousands of views per video, so they were actually getting a ton of views. Now I'm hoping that I can generate that amount of success onto my new channel, which is now partnered, and it's mostly a gaming channel, but I'd like to bring some variety in, so that's why I'm going to be making this tutorial for you guys. And hopefully you guys can drop a sub, a like, and a fave. Maybe leave a comment if it helped you out in any way. It really helped me out a lot, and I'd really appreciate it. So let's get started on this tutorial here. What you want to do is open up your gaming software, your game recording software, whether you have a Blackmagic, a AverMedia, a Hauppauge, or like myself, an Elgato Game Capture HD. I hope that you can more or less get an idea of what I'm getting at here. So the programs, they're not really too different. It's just more of an interface thing. So I'm going to go to the preferences on my Elgato Game Capture HD here, and I'm going to go to the format I'm going to be recording in. And actually, let me start off by saying that if you have an Elgato or an HD PVR2, if you guys don't know, those record in full 1080p. And if you have a Blackmagic, a AverMedia, or anything else, you're most likely going to be recording in 720p at the highest. So since mine supports full 1080p recording, I'm going to go ahead and pick MP4 1080p. Now, if yours would support 720, either you won't have the option, or you'll just pick the highest setting you can pick. So since it's already set, I'm going to hit cancel. Now I'm going to go to the video settings here. My input device, I have it set to Xbox 360. Input, HDMI, also supports component if you have that. I recommend HDMI. My profile, now I could record in 1080p, but I'd rather record in 720p for the smaller files. Now, for someone like me who doesn't really care too much about quality, it's still going to look great overall. So you're really not going to be, once it's uploaded to YouTube, you're really not going to be able to tell the difference, unless you're on crack or something, and you could just tell that, but then you'd probably be lying to yourself. So you're not going to tell the difference. So I have 720p because of the smaller files, so it can render faster, etc. Now, if you have a small hard drive, you're going to want to pick 720, and you're going to want to lower down the quality. It's still going to be really good in the middle if you have a Game Capture HD. I'm not 100% sure for the PVR2. I imagine it'll still be pretty good too as well, though. It's still going to be higher, even if you put it about a quarter in. It's still going to be higher than the first generation Hauppauge. So either way, it's going to look great. Mine, I have it at best because I have a ton of hard drive space. And that's pretty much it. And now it's detecting the new video settings. And so now that we're done with your capture settings, you're going to want to open up your Sony Vegas, import your clip or your video, right click on your video, hit properties, uncheck maintain aspect ratio, and disable resample. Now I've already done that, but by default it's going to be smart resample and maintain aspect ratio, so you're going to want to uncheck those and hit OK. Now take in mind, if you import another video file, another clip, whatever you may import, you're going to have to do that individually for each video file. So if you have a big file and you're going to cut into individual video files, you're going to want to do that from the get-go. So just do the whole process and it'll be saved for the other files instead of doing it for each individual one. Now you're going to want to go to File, go to Properties, your video template, go ahead and name it whatever you like. The width 1920, height 1080, field order none, pixel aspect ratio 1, output rotation original, frame rate 60. I'll get into Y60 in a sec. Stereoscopic 3D off, pixel format, 32 floating point video levels, full resolution rendering quality, best motion blur type Gaussian, deinterlace method, blend fields. Check this and check this just to save you time. Once again, name your template, save it, hit apply, then hit OK. Now, back to the frame rate. The reason you might want 60 frames per second over 30 or 29.97, whatever it may be, if you're going to be editing a clip, especially if you're an editor or you're new to editing and you want to get good at it, I suppose, or you need a certain point in your video to be cut to save you a lot of frustration and time and effort, you're going to want 60 frames. That way you have more frames to play with instead of the 30 that you may have. So you're going to want 60 frames, and it does not have to be 60 once you render. It could be at 30 depending on what you like, but take in mind that if you're going to be uploading to YouTube, it has a locked frame rate of 30. So for right now, just so you can work with 60 and render in 30 later, or 60 if you like, but once again, if you're going to be uploading to YouTube, there's really no point. Now hit OK. Next, you want to go to preferences here, go to video, your dynamic RAM preview. Chances are you're probably going to have a little bit of lag when you're previewing your video file, so you're going to want to bump up the dynamic RAM preview megabytes here. By default, it should be like around 150 or 300. I don't quite recall at the moment, but just bump it up to 1,000 if you have that amount of RAM. If you have under 1 gigabyte of RAM, just put 500. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, so I can do whatever I like, but 2500 seems to do the job just fine. Maximum number of threads, you're going to want to put 4. It should be at 2 by default. You should be able to bump it up to 4. I have mine at 8. You could bump it up, or I could bump it up if I'd like to, but once again, 8 does the job just fine. GPU acceleration, if you have a video card, pick your graphics card. Now the rest, well, I messed with this because the reason I might have changed this was because I don't want Sony Vegas putting any temp files on my SSD boot drive, so I kind of changed that up to put it on my drive, on my my Black Caviar Western Digital. So no temp files on my SSD. You can change that if you like, but leave it at default, save you the time and effort. Hit apply and then hit OK. I have everything set already, so I'm just going to exit and go to file once again, go to render as. I'm going to give you guys 2 templates to work with here. So let me start off by going to Sony AVC. You're going to want to pick memory stick QVGA widescreen and customize that template. Video format AVC. High definition. Now, before I get into this any further, let me start off by saying this template here that I'm working with, that's for your fast renders, your small files and fast renders. If you're going to be uploading a walkthrough, a playthrough, maybe even a 10, 15, 20 minute commentary, you're probably going to want this. It's going to save you a lot of time with the render, and it's going to also save you some space with the overall file it's going to leave. So high definition 1280 by 720. Now we're going to get into a 1080p file, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll get into that in a sec. But this is just for the absolute fastest, the good quality, very fast render small file setting. Profile main, entropy, I hope I pronounced that right, entropy coding, CABAC or CABAC, frame rate 29.9 is fine. Field order none. Pixel aspect ratio 1. The bit rate we're gonna actually want to do 10 million. It's going to be very good quality, and it's also going to render really fast, and it's going to be a fairly decent small file. Encode mode, automatic. Either GPU, CPU, it's automatic. So your audio, just copy these settings here. Pause the video if I went too fast. Format MP4. Project. Video rendering quality best. Stereoscopic 3D mode. Use project settings. Now I haven't named this file, so I'm gonna name it 720p MP. Oh, my mistake. MP4. And I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Hit OK. And now I have my new template. And I'm gonna click on the stars to make it one of my favorites to save me time. Now, next template we're gonna be working with. This is for your absolute best quality. It's gonna be a pretty big file, but it's gonna be some of the best quality you can get. So just pick one of these files. Just pick the 8 megabytes and work with that. Customize the template. Mode CBR. Format. Just copy. This is just the audio settings, so just copy the settings. Once again, if I went too fast, just pause it anytime. Mode CBR. Format. Windows Media. Image. Custom. 1920 1080. Frame rate. Once again, the reason I have 30 is because YouTube is going to lock the frames at 30 anyway, so there's no point in rendering at 60. Plus, if I rendered at 60, it would take a while longer to render out, so I guess it's a win-win. Seconds per keyframe 5. Override. Video smoothness 100. Internet, I have mine at 20M. Actually have 100 megabyte speed, but 20M I leave. This is actually the bit rate, so just 20M is fine. It's actually not your internet speed, so just a FYI there. Index summary, leave that there, or leave it alone. Video rendering quality best, obviously. Stereoscopic 3D mode, use project settings. Once again, name your file whatever you like. Mine is full 1080p HD quality. This is for your best work. You're gonna want this. It's for a montage or a special video that you actually want to pretty much impress with. So if you have a montage or anything that you want the best possible quality for, you're gonna want these settings. So otherwise, use the other template that we just went through. So once again, name your file or your template, save it, hit OK. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that later since I already have the same template. Name your video, hit render, start uploading to YouTube, and you're all set. I hope these settings help you guys out the same way they've been helping me out throughout the years I've been making YouTube videos. If you guys have a question, feel free to drop me a comment and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please like the vid, favorite, and of course subscribe. I promise to be active and I promise to keep a lot of variety on my channel. So once again, this has been Chosen. Take it easy, guys.